Hello. Is it working? It looks like it's working. Hi. Been a while, innit? Sorry. I've been a busy little bee for the last month. Um I fired up the streaming software and the website that hosted my the countdown timer has been taken down. And the my last live stream had a copyright strike on it for the background music. Even though it's advertised as being royalty-free music, it obviously isn't anymore. So hence the silence and no timer. So what have I got going on? I've had a shave. I'm not as hairy. Martial artistry. Good evening, mate. Thanks for joining the stream. So I thought I'd start something new. I've still got that guitar to finish. I will finish it one day. But I thought I'd start something new. The guitar is going to have a load of masking, cutting out, and who wants to watch me cutting out masking for 2 hours? It'd be boring, wouldn't it? So I figured we'd start a new project. So let's change cameras and go over to this one. Stream beats by Harris Heller, always free and DMC free. Do you know what? It was Stream Beats that I was using. It was their lo-fi thing. And yeah, all my past streams as of about 2 weeks ago have all got a copyright strike on them. So I guess that one isn't free anymore. But I've had troubles with the music for years. You know, buying. I would pay, like when I was doing the YouTube videos full time, I would pay like $20-30 a pop for the background music to have the license to use it, and it was royalty free for a few years, and then all my old videos get a copyright strike as well. So it's only a temporary thing by the looks of it, which sucks. But anyway, let's switch cameras, and we got a whole lot of yellow going on. So what I'm gonna do is like a pin-up lass. I'm gonna put a little bit of a cyberpunk twist on it. Not quite sure what I'm gonna do with that yet. I might give her a robotic eye, or make it look like she's got a panel on her face or something. For those who have played the Cyberpunk 2077 game, you'll know what I'm on about. A lot of the characters on there have got like a robotic eye, and they've got like a panel on the side of their face that can like pop off or whatever. So you just got a line that's clearly a panel. I might do that. Just something subtle like that, just to give it a bit of a cyberpunk twisty. But I'm painting her in a black and yellow dress. So no massive cleavage showing or anything like that, because all my artwork keeps getting taken down by social media. I keep violating their terms. The last one, when was it? Friday, I think it was, or Thursday. I tried to put up a time-lapse video of that thirst painting I did. You know, that model mate of mine where she's got blood all over her hands and that. Like, I kind of understand why they wouldn't let me post it, but yeah, that was a big no-no from Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. They all said no. So I'm going to paint something a bit more PC. I've just doodled a very faint sketch of what I'm going to do. You can just about see it there on camera. And I've done the usual trick of, I've already painted her dress. But I've done the usual trick of sheet of tracing paper. It's just A3 Bristol board, sheet of tracing paper, and then I've cut round it slightly larger than I needed, and then just used little strips of Ultra Mask, so there's just a little bit stuck down onto the surface, just to try and stop the surface from lifting, because on the last picture I did, that Supergirl, I had terrible troubles with it peeling the surface of the paper up, like ripping it. So just to protect me from that a bit, there's just a slight slither of it actually contacting the paper around here, and the tracing paper protects the rest. So That's been sprayed yellow, although it's got a lot of green on it on this camera for some reason. That is just Createx yellow, really bright, and I need to tone it down a bit. So what I'm going to use now is their illustration Injury Ochre, which is one of the best names ever for a paint, and I'm just going to use that quite watered down to just bring this yellow down a bit, and then I'm going to use it thicker, or add more layers of exactly the same paint just for the shadow areas. So let's get some of that in the airbrush. I've cleaned my airbrushes. They they hadn't been used for a month. I haven't airbrushed basically, other than doing her skirt. I haven't airbrushed for a month. The last time I painted was on live stream, so that's why her skirt's painted, so I could kind of get some strength back in my hand. Surprising how quickly your muscles in your hand weaken. So we'll just mix up some of this. So I'm going to probably reduce it 50-50. I always say how much I'm reducing my paints, but obviously it depends where you are and your weather and your humidity and all that lot. It's a warm 22-degree day here in the UK. It's a bit muggy, but humidity isn't off the charts today. But of course that will have an effect on how your paint flows. So every time I say, oh, I'm doing so much paint and so much reducer, it's just a guide so you know roughly what I'm doing, but always tweak it to your own needs. So like I've got 7 drops of that paint in my Micron. I'm going to go for 7 drops of the 4011 reducer. And then just to aid adhesion, because that's quite watered down, I'm just going to put 2 drops of transparent base in it. Yeah, it has been a little while for me. Not often I don't paint for a month. There's literally busy time for tattooists, so I would finish work at like 5-6 p.m. and then come home, have to walk the dog, make dinner for me and the kids, all that lot. I just couldn't get to the stream in time, unfortunately. Had today off though, so I'm here. I've got 2 tanks and a helmet going at the same time. It's a bit overwhelming. Yeah, it can be. A few times I've taken on like 3 guitars at once, and sometimes you just feel like you're drowning in work. Okay, that's that. I'm curious, does the paint respond a bit more sluggish when it's cold? Yeah, I'm in my dining room here, so it's always warm in here. But when I used to use my shedio at the bottom of the garden when I was young, it used to get really cold in there, and yeah, it almost thickens the paint up. So trying to get that milky consistency you need for airbrushing was harder. You would need more reducer and what have you to get the same result. I find if it's really humid as well, I get the same thing. The paint just won't flow and you got to over reduce it. But yeah, cold definitely makes the paint thicker. Yeah. Let's see, sorry, a bit late joining, just back from a local car cruise and the pub. Oh, nice. Very nice. There's a lot of car cruises going on at the moment. I keep seeing all my Facebook mates who have got Ecto 1s, they keep posting up that they've gone to various car shows and stuff. Right, so how is this yellow ochre? Yeah, that's lovely. That is a. There you go. You can just about see that on camera. You see how that's a very subtle change in colour. I don't want to go too mad, too contrasty straight away. I want it to be a fairly nice, subtle transition. Although when it is a very subtle transition, you have to be careful not to flood the surface with too much paint because it's hard to see it. So you'll probably see me stop and just dry it off with the airbrush quite a bit. I think I might give her tattoos as well. But that'll be like one of the final stages. I'm just going to work my way up. So once I've done the yellow here, then I'll be onto her flesh tones. And then once I've done that, her hair will be one of the last things. And then once I've done that, I'll decide if I'm going to put tattoos on her or not. I found a little trick. You know when you're painting and you just find a little trick that you think, oh, that worked really well, I'll remember that. Well, it was when I was doing that thirst painting. I was doing loads of tattoos all over her arms, and they didn't look right. They were too in your face. Although I didn't use a black, I just used a blue to try and give them that age tattoo look. They were too contrasty, and I found if you do the arm, so like her arm down here, you paint that with the flesh tone, you shade it, all that lot as if it was finished. Then you paint the tattoos on it. And then once you've done the tattoos, if you get your original base flesh tone and just do a highlight where the lightest part of the arm is, just paint over the tattoos where the highlight of the flesh is. And that kind of tones the tattoo down and makes it actually look like it's on her, you know, it adds like a lighting effect to the tattoos, and it works really well. Just something really simple like that, just going back in with your original base flesh colour and just doing a highlight. I was quite surprised at how well that worked. Mask is coming up there. So I know that bit's not going to be stuck too much. Yeah, I'm happy with that. That's a nice tone to bring the yellow down to, I think. Oh, I got new glasses, and do you think they'd stay on my face? They just keep slipping down. I'm getting old. I got the old varifocal thing. Well, they're not varifocals, but they're like the first step onto varifocals. So I've got the little bit at the bottom for reading now. I'm an old fart. It's official. So I'm really considering taking my channel more seriously this year. What's the best advice for setting up the cameras? Do you know what? Don't overcomplicate it. Yeah, I was getting obsessed with having every angle possible going, and you really don't need it. I've got a Logitech webcam right there, just bolted on the bottom of a shelf. That just goes straight into the PC via the USB lead, and here I've got an old Canon 600D. I think they call it the TI Rebel in America. Just a DSLR camera, and that has got it's a bit convoluted because it's an old camera and doesn't have a USB out, but it did have a HDMI out. So I've got a HDMI lead coming out of it, going into a HDMI to USB converter, and then that's plugged straight into the back of the TV. That's it. Those are my only cameras. And then a 20 quid USB boom mic, and that's my whole setup. So my biggest tip to you would be don't overcomplicate it, because it's very easy to get carried away with it, and then before you know, you're just swimming in a sea of technical issues. Oh, and don't expect to make any money at it either. Because the days of earning money from YouTube are gone, sadly. They don't pay anything anymore. Occasionally, you get the nice people who send you a super chat on YouTube, or I think they call it stars on Facebook. Which are nice because they go straight in your pocket. Don't go to YouTube and that lot. But as far as the advertising revenue, to give you some example, I get around about, at the minute, between 500 to 700 views a day across all my YouTube videos, and I'm lucky if I earn £3 a month. So it's, don't do it for the money. There are other things out there you can do, like Patreon and stuff like that if you want the money, or there's even YouTube memberships. I was looking into that at some point, but it just seemed so convoluted to set it up, and then I couldn't guarantee that I could do content every week, so I decided not to do it. But yeah, do it for fun. Do you run a switcher to go back and forth between camera angles? No, I use a bit of software called OBS Studio. I can show you it as well. If I go like this, that's not the one. We want the other screen. Not the one either. So I'm going to switch the screen. Or I could just do this, like that. The perils of having multiple monitors. Look at all that. So there you go, that's my setup. So we have a load of little scenes on the left hand side, bottom left corner there. That's got my camera restarted. That's got like my starting soon screen, the live screen, the offline, all that lot. When you want to change, you just click on those, and it's easy as that. You got my boom mic in there, so you add all your sources in there, you add all your scenes in there. The chat is up in here. It's a really cool little program. It's very handy. Only downside is there is a membership for that. I can't remember what it was. It's not a lot. Or is it? I can't remember now. There's something I pay a membership for. It might be the Restream thing, because OBS Studio handles the streaming bit of it, but then it won't upload to multiple places. That's right. So I've got OBS Studio handling the hardware side of things, and then I send my stream from OBS Studio to something called Restream. I think the website is restream.io, and they then take my stream and send it to Facebook. No, it doesn't do Instagram. What have I got? I've got Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube, and for that I pay a fee for. I've got OBS, that's perfect. Oh, brilliant. There you go then. But yeah, to be able to stream to multiple places is what I pay a fee for. Yeah, going well. Steve, good evening, mate. How you doing? Hope everything is cool with you. Let's see if we can zoom in on this without being dirty pervs and just zooming into her boobs. I have tried it. It's really green on the screen there. I have tried to fix that. I think it's something to do with the fluorescent light I'm under. I just got one of these little USB ring light things, and it makes everything look so green, but then when it comes to flesh, it's not. But yellows just come out so green, it's weird. I should invest in another light, really. But my daughter's just about to start college and we've got to find £800 for her bus pass. It's that little lady that used to pop up in all my old YouTube videos is off to college next week. Scary, isn't it? Sure, they say blink and you'll miss it, isn't it? Been enjoying that shiny yellow thing. Yeah, I hide from that. I thought I'd grow the beard and the long hair for some protection from it, but it just got really annoying. So off that came and I went back into hiding again. In there, still quite flat though.